right, welcome back to section 10.2. Next thing we're going to do is talk about some exponent rules. So the negative exponents, if you get a negative exponent, basically I always feel like it's just like in the wrong place. It's in the numerator, but it wants to be in the denominator, or vice versa. So if you have a to the negative n, that's the same thing as 1 over a to the positive n. So basically, if you switch something from numerator to denominator or denominator to numerator, it just switches the sign of the exponent. You can also expand this rule to our rational exponents. So a to the negative m over n would just be 1 over a to the positive m over n. So it just goes from a negative exponent to a positive exponent when you switch it from the numerator to the denominator. Okay, so example 2. We've got 81 raised to the negative 3/4. So the negative exponent just means I don't want to be in the numerator. I'm unhappy where I am. So it's 1 over 81 to the positive 3/4, and then it's happy. Okay? Now we can keep going from here because we know now that that 4 in the denominator means we're taking the 4th root of 81. The 3 that's in the numerator means we're going to take it to the 3rd power, and it's still under a 1. So let's see here. 81 is 9 times 9, and each 9 is 3 times 3. So we're doing the 4th root, so we're looking for groups of 4 of the same thing. There are 4 3's here. So the 4th root of 81 is 3. And so now we're taking that 3, we're going to raise it to the 3rd power, and it's still in the denominator, okay? So 3 to the 3rd power is 27, it's still in the denominator. So 81 to the negative 3/4 power will evaluate to be 1 over 27. All right, what about if I have a fraction? I have 64 over 25, and that's raised to the negative 3/2 power. All right, so basically what you can do here is you can kind of distribute that to each one. We've got 64 to the negative 3/2, and we've got 25 to the negative 3/2. And so essentially both of them are not happy where they are. So what you can do is you can switch them so that we have positive exponents. So the 64 says, I don't want to be in the numerator. It has a very negative attitude about it. So we can switch it down to the denominator, and that will make it a positive exponent instead of a negative exponent. The 25 says, I don't like being in the denominator. It makes it very unhappy. So if we switch it to the numerator, then we will have a positive exponent. And so we can essentially just switch places and have positive exponents, which is much happier. From here, 25 raised to the 3/2. Well, the 2 in the denominator means it's a square root of 25. The 3 in the numerator means we're raising it to the 3rd power. Same thing for the 64. It has a 2 in the denominator, so that's a square root of 64. It has a 3 in the numerator, so it's raised to the 3rd power. Let's see, from here, the square root of 25 is 5. The square root of 64 is 8. So now we've got 5 to the 3rd power and 8 to the 3rd power. Well, 5 to the 3rd power, if you multiply 5 times 5 times 5, you get 125. 8 to the 3rd power, if you do 8 times 8 times 8, you get 512. So we would evaluate this to be a nice little simplified fraction, which is 125 over 512. Now it's your all's turn to try another one and show me how much you've learned.